I was so nervous to start ninth grade. It was just like the building change and the new people. It was super nerve-wracking, so I didn't want to do it at all.
When I started ninth grade, I was kind of in the middle. I was excited because I was moving up another level and I was going to meet so many people from different schools. And I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know how the classes would be. Would they be hard? Would they be easy? So I was like, it was a very mixed reaction for me.
The building, of course, it was big. It was bigger than anything else. I was confused, didn't know where anything was the first day. But I was pretty pumped because there were a lot of electives that I was really interested in, like film and TV and different stuff like that.
I was both nervous and excited. Ninth grade was a really fun time for me. I really enjoyed it, and I met a lot of nice people during ninth grade.
I was really nervous when I began ninth grade because there were 700 kids in our grade and everything's just really new.
I had become so used to being like the top dog at middle school, but I was also excited to go into ninth grade because I had two cousins who were already through the NA high school process, and I was excited to join them, be able to talk about different classes that they were taking that I would be able to take as well.
The NAI seemed like such a big deal and like such a big building, but like once I got there, I was like super happy to start some of the classes I actually had a choice to take and meet my new teachers.
Whenever I began ninth grade, I was extremely excited to come into the school, explore a new place, meet new friends, and I was really up for a new challenge.
The fact that a 9th and 10th grade are split from 11th and 12th grade, the smaller school size, it really does help you adjust, and the teachers are all really helpful.
I was really excited for ninth grade because I had opportunities to take new classes and meet new people.
I was pretty excited when I started ninth grade because I knew it was going to be a brand new experience and I was going to meet people from all three middle schools and just have fun, I guess.
I was both excited and nervous to meet new people and have the stakes be a little higher.
I was very excited to meet new people and to take classes that I actually wanted to take, but I was also very nervous. I was really nervous because the big school was very intimidating coming from a smaller middle school.
One thing I think that 8th graders should know is that you don't necessarily need to go with the recommendation to be in honors for every single thing if you get that recommendation. In other words, you might have had to grade high enough to get that, but you don't necessarily need to put yourself in a situation where you're in such a high stress environment. It's also within your rights to say to the counselor, hey, I'm strongest maybe in these 3 or 4 areas. I want to push forward with the honors and that, but maybe I'd like to try the academic and a couple of things I'm not as interested in so I can free myself up to take some electives and some other things I'm really interested in.
People and your friends don't care what classes you take. Don't take a class just because you want them to think you're smarter or you want to fit a stereotype.
I think that the most important thing is taking classes that you know that won't backfire in the long term, because what I did was that I took classes that were way beyond my skill set and it kind of backfired, but not in the sense because I gained a lot of knowledge from it. So if you're up for the challenge to take hard classes, go for it. But if you want to stay inside your comfort zone, it's all about preference, what you want to do.
I think it's really important to look at colleges that you're interested in so that you know the things that those colleges need you to have so that you can get into those classes.
Pick the classes that fit you most. I know that everybody wants to take all honors. Personally, I only took 2 honors classes my freshman year, which was honors English and honors math, honors geometry. Personally, just do what fits you best.
I would take a study hall or an elective that wasn't very rigorous.
I think it's so important to remember this is your schedule and you don't need to compare it to anybody else's. I know I scheduled all honors classes, trying to get into the hardest classes just to impress other people, and ultimately it's unnecessary. Just make sure you're scheduling for the classes that you want to take.
Well, it's interesting because I taught in the middle school for 10 years and I was an 8th grade English teacher, and every year I was tasked with assigning honors English to kids or not recommending they take the honors class. And it was always weird because when you go to college, you schedule your own classes. You're the one who decides what you want to take and what you don't want to take. So I would always encourage students to think about what they're passionate about, but it's hard when you're 14 and 15 years old. But I recently saw a study wherein college professors were evaluating the skills that they wanted their students to be better at. And 80% of them said that they wanted students to be more curious, ask more questions, and be more critical thinkers. So I would encourage students to think about what they're passionate about, what they'd like to do more of, and really take that chance. I don't think honors is that much more work sometimes. Everybody always thinks that they'll be in their room for 6 hours a night. It's not always more work, it's just more in-depth work. So I would say rather than being afraid of the workload, to always be thinking about if it's something they actually want to do.
They should recognize that there's a big sense of freedom when you're getting to 9th grade, and freshman year doesn't define you. When colleges are looking at your transcripts, freshman year isn't their priority. So experiment around and have fun with it.
I would definitely be more careful when I chose my elective and make sure I chose one that I personally wanted to do and not just something that a lot of people were doing or my friends were doing, because if you're going to be doing that for a whole year, a whole semester, you want to make sure you really enjoy it, because there's so many choices and it can be a little overwhelming sometimes.
I think it's important to realize that if you don't have to feel pressured to take all honors. If you feel like you're not going to be able to handle it, then definitely analyze that and take a step back if you need to, and everything will be okay.
If I could reschedule my 9th grade classes, I might take academic social studies just because it's not the strongest subject for me. I still did okay, but I feel like I could have done better in an academic class.
Something that you should know is that take classes that you will like and you will do good in. Don't take a class and don't feel pressure to just take a class because someone told you to take it. For example, if someone says, "Oh, you should take honors biology," and if you say, "Oh, if you think it's going to be hard, don't take it because that's science. That's the science you're taking next year." I'm telling you that right now, and do not take it if you think you're not going to like it and you're going to have a hard time in it. So think wisely and schedule classes you think you will like.
Look ahead at what the sophomore classes require, because if there is a certain class that you want to take, it might require you to take another class in 9th grade. Per se, AP Hug, you need to take Honors English 1 and Honors American History and Honors European History. So you want to look at the requirements for the sophomore years as well.
I think it's important for them to know that the recommendations, they don't have to take a challenging course that maybe their teacher recommended for them if it's not in their best interest.
Be prepared to not get what you want sometimes. I remember I signed up for the Intro to Film Studies elective. I didn't get that until this year, so I didn't get it freshman year, I didn't get it sophomore year, even though I specifically said I wanted those electives. Sometimes you're just not going to get what you wanted.
Take classes that you want to take. I took so many classes that in hindsight I wish I hadn't taken, just so I could sort of build my ego and how other people would see me, that I did not end up doing as well as I hoped I would have been.
I think they should make sure that they can handle their course load, but also balancing time to take care of themselves, since it can get stressful.
What's most important to know is to know what you want to do for your future, because there are a lot of classes here at NAI that'll help you get into that future career that you're looking towards to.
You should focus on more finding your interests in what you want to go into for a major or what you want to do with the rest of your life past schooling, instead of taking all honors, because it's going to be a lot more fun to figure out what you want to do instead of taking difficult classes.
But I would definitely take more electives and more classes that I would be more interested in now, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I sort of stayed with the stereotypical type of classes that I thought we were supposed to take. So I would rather take classes that were all over the place so I could better figure out what I wanted to do now.